Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. I'm Sheena Vaught, and I am the owner of Tower 5 Media and Aaron Muse Productions. I'm also the filmmaker, writer, director, producer, and any other hat for My Last Goodbye. So, this is the commentary for My Last Goodbye. Thanks for joining me. CC, just shout out to CC. Who was the first to sign on, basically. Cole was like one of the last people to sign on. Miss Lara, Mr. Jerry, Cheyenne, she was one of my interns last summer. Wesley and Aiden, niece and nephew. I see my name a lot. But this story is one that hits home for me because it's inspired by my life. Not everything in it is true, but it's the feel of like what I went through recently. So what made this film come about was I was having a hard time dealing with the situation, the aftermath of it, and I was just having a really hard time. So one morning I just woke up. It was April last year, and I remembered what Tyler Perry said that Oprah Winfrey said one time, was that writing is cathartic. So I took out Final Draft on my phone and I wrote this script from, I think it was like 4:30 a.m. to 6:30 a.m. in one morning, and that's when My Last Goodbye came out. And it was basically me writing a letter to this person who was like a part of my life for a moment in time and became very important. And then they're no longer there, which I think a lot of us can attest to something like that. So yeah, with Cece, I reached out to her. She's someone that I've known throughout the years, and I needed someone who could sing and close to my age. Like, we're not the same age. I'm a little bit older, but needed that. And then with Cole playing Mark here, had one person I reached out to and they agreed, but then I couldn't never get them to respond to me. And so about scheduling, so I moved on, and there was someone else who agreed, but then their work schedule got too hectic, so they had to drop out. So my intern Cheyenne, who you'll see later playing Samantha Taylor, she suggested Cole. She's in film school, so he did a project as a theater major, but he helped out on a film project, and so she recommended him, and she showed me something that he did, and he was just like perfect. And there are just moments actually on the set, and even when I first met him, that was scary, like eerie, in comparison to like who Mark is. So I was just like, wow, this guy was perfect for the role. I didn't go looking for him. He kind of like fell in my lap. But this right here, this is the last day of filming, by the way. Based off of like true events, but not in this manner. It was like my tire went flat, and then I called the person and they came, and yeah, like that. But this right here, we did this in 2 takes, uh, one long shot for each take. And this is Taryn, another one of my interns. She's operating the camera here. We decided to, on some of these shots, we just used my iPhone. And I have a program on my iPhone called Filmic Pro that I like to use when I want to go a little bit smaller and not have a whole bunch of equipment or anything like that. We didn't need sound because, well, we needed a little bit of sound, but not a lot, because we were just going to play this song and put it over the sound in the car. So there are little moments in the car that you can hear to like intertwine into the mix of the sound right here. But yeah. But this is the last day of filming. And actually this was the last take. Oh, not even just the last day of filming, but this is like the last shot. This moment right here when we said cut, that was it. And the thing was that the 2 actors, they said a word that blew my mind on set. That when I was in the car, I was like, no way did they just say that. Because it was and they had no clue why I was freaking out. But they said a word, and I'm not going to say the word. But the word is a nod to the person being represented. So Miss Lara and Mr. Jerry playing Sue and Tom, we're filming in my mom's house right here, but I reached out to Miss Lara because she's always been like, if you need help with anything, you know, she's interested in acting and stuff like that, let her know. And so I was looking for someone who had a really sweet personality, who loved her kids. And then for Mr. Tom, I was just looking for someone who's just nice and polite, loves his wife, loves his family, and could be that voice of reason. So I met Mr. Jerry like selling lemonade outside of the market where I work part-time, and one day he was at my other part-time job, and I was like, hey, and we were talking about the filming stuff, and he was like, if you ever need help, I was like, you know what, actually I need this roll of Tom filled. And he read it and he was like, yeah, I'll do it. And so that's how we got the cast together. And then also Cheyenne, right here, she's playing Samantha Taylor. I needed someone to fill that role too, so she was like interested in acting and being in front of the camera instead of just being behind it. So I was like, yeah, you can definitely play that role. So we shot these separately. We shot the scene. This was the first day I met Cole, by the way. We went downtown Wilmington to Bespoke, and we just picked up some shots in there. And when I saw the back of his head, I almost freaked out because I thought that he was the person. And I was like, oh gosh, we're going in here to film. But then come to find out it was actually Cole. And I was like relieved that we weren't filming this in front of the person who inspired this character. And I just have to say something about this soundtrack. Motion Array has been like a godsend for independent creatives, and especially someone like myself. I don't make money off of what I do, only if I'm contracted to do work for someone. But making films, no one's hired me to make a film for them as of yet. So doing things and paying for it out of my own pocket through the jobs that I work and looking for ways to license music and everything is like relieving, because it would be an astronomical fee. So that was a text from Serena, um, and now he's like looking and scrolling. We shot all of this like during our workshop that we do for filmmaking for teens, and the workshop could have just been like, going over what filmmaking is and been very boring. And I was like, you know what? Like, no, we're going to make this film during the workshop, or we're going to make parts of it during the workshop, because we had to start beforehand and film afterwards. But the stuff in Cole's house was shot during the workshop. The office scenes were shot during the workshop. Um, Let me see what else. Oh, we go to Planet Fun. Those scenes are shot during the workshop, and then the outside, like outdoor restaurant scenes, is shot. Um, I have to stop right here. This part right here had no dialogue, I have to say. And Cole, who's playing Mark, he just really got into like this guy who's he's seeing someone, but he got kind of jealous, and um, just trying to figure out how he's feeling, and he really embodied that. And I didn't give him much direction on it, and so I had them grab the sound, and I was like, roll on this. And so we got his dialogue on the other end, because we were doing this during the workshop. I was in this room with Cole, and then I had Nate, who was also I credited as a cinematographer as well. He was working with me at the time. Had him in the other room, and there was no real dialogue for Cece, because I didn't write anything. It was just supposed to be a moment of them on the phone, their friends, but it's just like it's a confusing situation. So I had to go in ADR, like a response from Cece. So this right here, this is the first day of filming. And Cole in the car, which is a funny story, that is during the workshop. So anything that's in Serena's apartment, that's the first day of filming. The first day of the workshop, we were going out to film Cole in the car doing his driving scene. And we filmed it and realized he did not have his glasses on the whole time. So we were like, we have to come back the next day. So we filmed the office stuff. Then that night, me and my intern Taryn came and did this night shoot, the second night. And those glasses was like a pain, because Cole doesn't wear glasses, and they're just glasses for prop glasses. So he has those. That's like his little souvenir from the film. Um, so yeah, those are two separate times. We started filming the apartment stuff in June last year, and then the film making workshop stuff and this driving scene in July last year. And then there are things that shot in August, and then late September, early October that we filmed stuff. I think it's like early October was when we wrapped everything. So it spanned over a few months, working with everybody's schedules and location availability and things like that. And like my interns finishing up their internship. So yeah, this is the first day of filming, and this is actually in my apartment. So Serena is inspired by me, so she is in where I live. And there are some little nods in my apartment to certain things. This right here was the last day of filming in October. So this song that she's singing is a real song, but it's been rearranged. My cousin Tori, he's on the keyboard. He listened to the song and then he arranged it, and it was in like the same key that I sang it in, but I thought that the key was too bright. So I was like, can you put it in like an E minor or a minor key or something like that? And so he changed it and made it a little bit more darker. And I was like, this is it. And then I added background vocalist. That's my sister, Shanta. And that's Kyron. He was also with her during shopping. So we want to tie that character in as like what somebody who sings with this character. But the restaurant scene is not real. But it was more of, there was this beat on this app called Voicey, and I was dealing with my feelings, and I sang what I felt, and it just came out like that. And I held off from letting him know for about a month how I was feeling, and then finally I was like boiling over, and I just had to tell him because like we told each other everything. So, and also he was sick at the time, and I was very nervous. He had COVID, and so I was just very worried and dealing with that. And he knew something was wrong. He knew something was off. And so I sent him the song, and I was just like, just listen to it by yourself. And that was how I revealed how I was feeling. And the response is what he says in the film. It's like, I just see you as a really good friend. And we remained friends after that. In this film, it makes it seem like, okay, we just stopped talking and 2 years passed. No, we remained friends a good year or so after I told him how I felt. But then it just got too hard because we continued on like nothing happened, I guess. And it still had me mixed up.
It's been almost 2 years.
So these restaurant scenes that was filmed this was filmed on not the last day of filming. This was filmed like a week before the last day of filming. So this is in October last year. This is back. This is the last day of filming. Back in the car.
I'm so thankful to God for sending me something I would and could never plan for myself.
What I think is so unexpected about the friendship is everything is just like, oh, you know,
a single word.
Would these people truly get along in life? And the answer was yes. And you didn't expect that you had common interests and both very nerdy and everything. But this right here is a flash. This is her thinking about one of the last times they hang out. The two characters, they hung out together. And this is based off of like true event. I showed up for his birthday, had it all planned out. That I was taking him out for the day. We went down to Myrtle Beach. This shirt that Cole has on, by the way, was another hassle because we filmed during the workshop stuff at his house and at Planet Fun, and then he had to come back and film again, but he left his shirt in Raleigh, and we were in Brunswick County in Charlotte, so his dad had to overnight that shirt to get it back so we could have continuity, because we went from July to October, and so this is October right here, like, and all the stuff out and about is in October. But when we get to Planet Fun, And when we were at the house, that was in July. So this is July. So it's like making sure that continuity is right and everything. Like Cole's hair is slightly off, because at the time he had a role as Dracula, and and this is July. This is the last day of filming at the workshop. And that's my nephew and niece, Wesley and Aiden. Which, by the way, I got news that Aiden wants to be a director now. Being on this inspired her, and so that makes me feel like I kind of did something right, or that I'm doing something right, to help be a positive role model in some sort of way. So this is fictionalized, though. This is not something that really happened, but just wanted to have a bit of fun. But we did. This is a nod to like that birthday day out. Did go to Dave and Buster's. Did go putt-putt golfing. Did have brunch or breakfast. We went to go see a movie. Like, just did a whole bunch of like stuff in one day that you could cram into one day. And so this is a nod to that memory, to one of the best memories that I have, because it was just such a fun day, and it started so early and it ended. I think I got home. I left home probably like 7 o'clock that morning to pick him up, and then I got home like 1 o'clock in the morning the next day. So it was like a fun filled day. So this is what that is a nod to, even though like the things with the kids didn't happen. But everybody had fun shooting this. Like, we had the camera. We didn't light the scene. Like, we lit the scene. All the students of the workshop, they took out their cell phones and they turned their the lights on their phones on. And that's how we got to light quickly. And just shout out to Planet Fun and also to Lucas. They were just amazing to work with. I just so thankful for them. So that was the end of that, and now we're back in October. And this is like the end of the birthday, where she just says happy birthday. And then he grabs her and he holds her, and they just walk together holding each other. Well, that's what it's supposed to be, but I just ended it here because the walk was very awkward. But now, like, remembering the good things and remembering those times is hard, because when you come back to reality, it's like that person's not here anymore. And you don't understand why they're not here anymore, because even though we worked on the friendship and we tried to remain friends, and things don't work out, and then there's just silence. It's like, why? What happened? Like, I thought that we were good, and just no more unanswered texts, unanswered phone calls, unanswered emails, just complete silence. So, but that's that. Just shout out to everyone who helped on this project. It was an amazing project. And it inspired me. Like, I'm still inspired to be a filmmaker. There's times where I just want to quit. Allison, just thank you, Allison, so much. Thank you for everybody, just everybody who worked and helped in any capacity. Just thank you so much. Joey, yeah, Joey was another one of my interns. Joey was another one of my interns, but he came after Cheyenne, Taryn, and Jackie that I had for the summer, and then I got a new intern through UNCW, and he operated the camera on the singing scene, and he did these credits, and he helped edit the film together. So shout out to Joey as well. Didn't want to leave him out. he had a hard time with these credits. And I told him, I was like, credits for me are a pain. But he's like, I'll do them. And then he learned really fast why I consider doing credits a pain, because they have to be right, you know. So, and then also shout out to my coworker, Brandon Browning. He wrote a little snippet. You heard it after the singing part in the hallway where he just says, "It's restless heart." There it goes. Uh, he wrote that small snippet for that scene, because I was like, I need something, and I showed it to him, and he let me know that he did music, and he went like 2 seconds and came back. He's like, I got it, and so shout out to him. But Brunswick Arts Council, North Carolina Arts Council, the grants, Cinnamon Bay Film Festival, Friends of the Library, interviews, Brunswick Electric, Brunswick County, Tower 5 Media. I'm looking forward to and hoping that this thing continues to grow. And yes, Mark and Serena, they will not be back. But I just thank you all for joining me and sitting with me as I commentate on My Last Goodbye.